Excellent and everything that y'all can see me. Uh, and first I want to go over is to what I'm thinking about is a lot of times I say things have to be visual. And what I mean by that is with ADHD, when you walk into a room, you need to be able to see things. You need to be able to see things because it's about kind of the working memory kind of things, like being able to see those things and then know where they are. And the reason is because with ADHD, you might have some working memory issues. And to have items there that you can see, then you're able to not have to deal with working memory and things like that. Then you're able to remember where things are or get reminded where things are. And it's very hard when you have ADHD, when you walk into a room and you're thinking about what you want to go in there and get this certain thing or look for this certain thing and you can't see it. It's like behind something and you're really trying to find it. And I've done it so many times. I've walked into a room, just looked around and said, I came in here for something, but I don't know exactly what I came in here for right now. I've just forgotten about it. So if it's in front of something or if you can see it, it's much easier that even if you forget it, then you can just look around the room and remember that it's there. And so the other thing is when you walk into a room and you're really looking for something or you just pick something up into the room and then you set it down, and sometimes you just forget where you set it down with ADHD, and that has to deal with working memory. And that's the memory that people, when they tell you their phone numbers, when they say, hey, give you directions, and they're trying to give you a lot of different things, trying to give you a lot of different directions or phone numbers or anything, and they give you the first part of it and you're like, okay, I got it. And they start to give you the second part of it and you forget the first part of it. So then you're like, well, hey, I don't know the first part. I don't know the first part anymore. Can you give that back to me? And that's how working memory kind of works, because it's whatever that you take in the first time you hear something. Your short-term memory is what working memory is. And with ADHD, you deal in kind of a deficit. So it's like you want more working memory. You want to be able to remember things, but you're trying to manipulate things in your head, trying to figure things out. And as you're trying to figure that first thing out, the second thing goes away. And so when you're able to see things, you're able to go into a room and not have to really worry about, okay, even if I forgot what I came in here for, I can look around and find that thing that I was looking for, and that's going to remind me. Now, another thing that you can do to make sure you can see things is to have clear storage. So clear bins, things like that. So these I have different bins I have things in. So when I walk into a room, walk into an attic, walk into any closet I have, I can look and immediately know what's inside it because you can see inside it. The worst thing is those bins that are opaque that you can't see inside. And you're going to find something that you may have just put down, or you're going to find something you put away, like seasonal stuff you put away, and trying to remember where that stuff is pretty hard if it's in a container that you cannot see inside of. And with ADHD, you might just forget it. And then you have to go through and look through all the different containers to find out where things are. And that can be just really frustrating. So if you have things in clear bins, clear containers, and you could have it, in your living room, in your kitchen, in your bedroom, wherever you have something you want to remember where it is, and you're just not sure that you will, or you want to be able to make sure that you can see it, you put it in a clear container, and then you don't have to really think about too much what's in the container. You can look over and see inside, and that helps because now you're not having to go through and look through 20 containers or multiple containers to figure out what's in one, what's in this other one. That happens at Christmas time. You have Christmas decorations and you have all these different boxes of Christmas decorations or Halloween decorations, and you're going through. If you didn't label those boxes, good luck finding the one that has this or that in it. You're going to have to go through and kind of look at the ones and look through different ones to find the ones that you want to use, want to decorate with, unless you have it in something you can see, and unless you've labeled it, then you might just be looking for a long time trying to figure out which container, which bin you put it in. So a clear container helps you to prevent that thing. Now, something else that you can do is, like I was mentioning, labels. So labels actually help with working memory too, because of the fact that you don't have to think about anything when you walk into a room or walk into a place where you're trying to find something. If it's labeled, then you can just look at the label and then figure out, oh, okay, that's what's in there, or that's what this thing is that's in that place. You can put a label on the container, you put a label on a place or something, so you remember to actually put things back as well to that place. And so labels just help you as a quick reminder of, you're walking into a room and you know that you have labels on everything, then it's much easier to go into that room and look and see what's in that room, see what's on that shelf, see what's in a container, because you've gone through and labeled it. Now, the other thing about this is you can get like just the regular labels that you actually put on something, and that's really cool. Or you can get the labels that you can get, like colored labels as well with different colors, or you can get even stickers, whatever really like works for you to be able to make sure that you can see or know what's inside a container. You can get any type of labels that you want to. Now, if you don't want like a permanent label, then you can actually get sticky notes, right? And you put sticky notes on just all sorts of things, and it's not permanent. So if you just want to temporarily know where something is, or temporarily label something, then you can use a sticky note, and that's just as good as well. And sticky notes have a lot of different ways you can use them, but labeling something is one of the ways you can use them, which is really good. Now, something else that helps you make sure that you can see things is actually taking advantage of your vertical space in your home or your apartment or wherever. So vertical space is all the space on your wall that you're not using anyway, right? And this is a space, like, I'm not sure you can see it, but all this space here, space on my wall, or space on the wall, is where your vertical space is. And if you don't have anything that you're using that space for, then you can take advantage of that space by putting maybe storage boxes. You can stack storage boxes up there. You can actually put on floating shelves, like install shelves on the wall, and they call them floating shelves because it actually looks like they're floating, because it doesn't look like there's anything to support that shelf there, so it looks like it's kind of floating, but you're taking advantage of that space you generally don't use. And so that's going to help you be able to see those things that you really want to see. And makes it easier to find the things that you want to find, instead of putting it in some container where you cannot see inside it, or you can't see it easily. Then that's something that you can do as well. Now, the thing about this is too, with using like your vertical space for your shelves and anything, then it's really good also to actually clear up some space, like where, below where you're putting where you're absolutely using that vertical space now, using shelves or organization boxes, or even hooks. You can go like command hooks and put on your wall as well. And that allows you to take advantage of that vertical space as well too. So it's really cool because it allows you to actually free up space down below, on the floor, on the desk and everything. You get to free up that space, and then you're taking advantage of additional space on your wall that lets you have more places to actually put things, which is really cool, because sometimes your room's just like cluttered, or your living room or kitchen or whatever is just cluttered all over, and you're like, I don't have any more space. Well, you can take advantage of that space on the wall, and then you have more space to put things or move things or whatever you want to do, and just use that space in that way as well. So it's a really good thing to actually do if you want to use if you want to see things and if you want more space as well too. And going back to storage organization boxes, if you don't know what these are, they're really cool because they're just like a square box that you can, it's like a cubby hole. I call it like a cubby hole because you can put things inside and make sure you can see those things, but they come in individual sizes. You can stack them however you want to stack them, or you can put them like on the floor if you want to do that, and then make them like make them lengthwise on the floor, right? And have multiple ones there. Or you can, they even come like connected together already. So then you have just multiple ones connected together and you can stack those or move those around. But the great thing about these is it's going to give you an additional place to put things where you can see them, where you can access them to. That's really important as well when you are trying to figure out what you want to do in the room and everything, trying to make sure that you can see things and everything. Now, one of the things that I really think is important as well is going to be the 90-90 rule. Have you ever heard about the 90-90 rule? So the 90-90 rule is every 90 days or every time you go and look for something, if you have not used it in 90 days and you don't plan to use it in the next 90 days, it might be a candidate for something you want to get rid of. Like if you have clothes, you haven't worn them in 90 days and they're not for a special occasion and you just keep having them in your closet anyway, and you have new clothes you want to wear but you have no space in your closet. So go through and look and see, okay, I've had these for 90 days, I've had these for 6 months or whatever, I've never worn it. Am I actually going to wear it in the future? And if you're not, then that can be something you're like, okay, let me go ahead and do something else. Get rid of this thing. I'm not going to wear, even if it's new, like you bought it, you just never got around to wearing it, then you might want to like give it to a friend or donate it or whatever you want to do with it. But you don't want to keep it in your closet just taking up space, because space is really valuable in your home, in your closet. And if you're not using something, you're not wearing something, you're not going to use it in the future, then it's a candidate to actually something that you want to get rid of. And that means just about anything, not just clothes, but any like appliances or devices, or maybe you have workout equipment that you haven't used and you know that you're not going to use in the future. Sometimes you get a treadmill. Have people get treadmills and they have treadmill, I'm going to walk on the treadmill, and it just sits in the living room or in their bedroom. And that thing is huge. It takes up a whole lot of space. And if you're not going to use it, then it might be something you want to go ahead and get rid of. And so this is going to help you make it easier to decide, what kind of things do I want to get rid of? What kind of things are clutter? What kind of things are not really essential to me? Then that's going to be an easy way to look at that and make that decision. And a lot of times we're just holding on to stuff, especially with ADHD. You hold on to stuff and you're just like, okay, I have this thing, I really want to hold on to it because I paid money for it, or I got a great deal on it, or just in case I ever need this thing, I'm going to keep it. All those are not really good reasons to actually keep that thing if you're not using it, especially the just in case things, like just in case I go to a Halloween party for 50s dress or whatever, just in case I go scuba diving, just in case I go to do a mountain climbing. You have all these different things just in case for these certain situations. But if it's past that time for that thing to happen, then you might want to say, okay, I don't need this thing or that thing anymore. And I haven't even thought about doing that thing, or I've had it for so long that even if I went to do that thing, I probably would buy new stuff. So that is one of the things you have to think about, is what do you have that you're keeping for that just in case situation that you've had for a long time, and that situation has never come up at all, and now you're just sitting with items that are taking up space that you could use that space for something else. And that's when things actually become clutter, is that you have these items that you're not using, you don't need, they're just taking up space in your home, and you just haven't ever gotten around to getting rid of them, and you just decide to keep them. And that can be a really bad thing. So what you want to do is look at things when you think about decluttering, look at them and see if you've had them for 90 days and do you plan to actually use them in the future? Because if you don't, then you want to go through and see which of those things that you can get rid of and throw away and which ones that you want to keep, especially now when you have like Halloween, or Christmas or whatever. You have these seasonal outfits. You go to a party for Halloween, go to a holiday party for Christmas or whatever. You dress up and you keep that stuff. And that stuff is, seasonal. So are you going to keep it the whole season until the next year? Or are you going to buy a new costume or whatever for the next year? So you have to think about that. And do you want to hold it for that long or buy something new? So that's one thing that you really have to look at and see. Another thing that's really good to be able to kind of organize things and keep things together and be able to see things are going to be baskets. I talk about baskets a lot, and the great thing about it is if you want to organize a shelf, or if you want to organize just anywhere in your home and you have random items or items that, are just like spread out everywhere, right? You have these things spread out on the desk, spread out, just anywhere on the table, whatever. Get a basket and put those things in a basket. Even if they don't relate, right? You can put those things in a basket, and then at least they're not like just spread out all over everywhere. And so that lets you make these things look neater because now they're not spread out everywhere, and also makes it easy to see what's inside the basket, which is very important because now when you're looking for that stuff, you can look and see, oh, okay, that's what's in that basket. You can walk by and look down, say, what's in that basket? You look down and say, oh, okay, that's what's in that basket. And so that's going to be something that is very good because baskets come in all different shapes and sizes and colors. So you can like make them stylish. You can get, whatever you want to get, round ones, square ones, whatever you want to get, whatever's going to work for you, then that's going to be a good thing for you to actually use a basket for. Now, the other thing about this is you can look at a basket, and if you don't want to put just random things in there, which, that's just basically you just want to use that way. But another way to use it is to actually get a basket and designate it for different categories of items. Like you have a basket for all your towels and washcloths. You have a basket for silverware, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to have a basket for, you can actually put different ones for different kinds of things. And then when you walk by and see that different basket, immediately without even looking at it, okay, I know what's already in there. And it makes it really easy to see those things, makes it really easy to know what's in there. And the cool thing is it doesn't take any time for you to actually set down a basket anywhere. Takes a couple of seconds, find a spot for it, put it there, put whatever you want to in it, and then just go ahead and leave it alone. Now, another thing that you can do that I talked about that I really like, can be good or bad, is a doom box. I don't know if you've heard about a doom box, but a doom box is don't organize, only move in a container, and it's usually a box. So when you're thinking about you want to organize somewhere in your home and you want to declutter somewhere and you just don't have time to go declutter, right? You want to get something, you want to make sure you get this stuff into something and move somewhere else in your home. So that is what a doom box is used for. Don't organize, only move. That means you're taking stuff, put it inside a box, put it inside a container, put it inside a bag, whatever, right? Put it inside something and then not organizing that stuff and moving it to somewhere else. Now, the caveat to this is you do have to go back and organize it, because if you don't, it just becomes a box of clutter that you move to another location. And now you have that box of clutter in another location. And then you just are creating more clutter as you get more and more doom boxes. As you're, okay, I can move this one and move next to the next one, right? So you have to go back through and organize that stuff. But it is a great thing if you're like, I just want to clutter. I just want to go ahead and get this stuff out of this room and get to another room, and I'll make sure I come back and declutter it. And if you want to make sure that you remember to go back and declutter it, put it on a calendar, use a sticky note to remind yourself to do it. And so that way you're sure that when you are thinking about it, you're going to go back and actually get rid of that stuff, declutter what you need to declutter, keep what you need to keep. And this is going to help you make sure to keep your apartment, home in a more organized state, just using this simple way to do this. Now, something else that you can do, especially with ADHD, is to have something to help you with some time awareness. And the thing about this is, with ADHD, you're generally not really good at really good at knowing the time that something takes, or estimating time that something takes, and just getting, distracted by something, and then not realizing how much time something is taken, or how much time you spent doing something. And that can be really bad, because if you want to get to an appointment or make sure you get to somewhere on time, you have to be able to know what time it is. You have to be able to know how long you've been doing something, and how long, like if you estimate something takes this long, you realize this is taking a lot longer than it should take. Then you have to make the decision. Should I continue to do this thing, or do I just need to stop and make sure I go to this thing or do this other thing that I need to do? But you need to be able to have something to make you aware of time. And that is using, like, you can have different clocks in all throughout your home. And that way you can always look and find a clock somewhere and know, okay, this is how much time I've taken, or this is the time that it is. And I don't have to be this certain place at like 4, and it's already 3. And it's going to take me, 45 minutes to get there. I have to go, I have to put whatever I'm doing down and actually go out the door. Now, one of the things that I use is this thing called a time timer. And this is kind of cool because it's a visual representation, and it's got like the color coded. So as soon as you actually turn this knob here, you can turn it right here. Now this is for 60 minutes. So when this is full, it's 60 minutes in this thing. And as a minutes pass, it goes down and goes down and goes down. And then when it gets to the actual end, it's going to make it so that it blinks like that, and the light is on like that. So that's one thing that you can do that's going to be a visual representation of time. So then you could just look at, know it's going to be 60 minutes, and you can just look at the color and see how much of the color has gone away. And that's like, okay, hey, I've kind of gone through 30 minutes has passed, it's halfway, so I still have this extra 30 minutes that I want to do, and then I have to be able to stop and go somewhere else. Now, if you get into where you just get into the rabbit hole of just searching online, and you just going through your phone, just keep like searching Facebook, searching, you've got into the Google and Googling things, and you're like, oh, I Googled this one thing, and that led me to Google to this thing. And so all those different things are a reason to use a time timer. Now, one of the things that you can do to kind of get out of what they call doom scrolling, which means you're just sitting doing Facebook all the time, or looking at social media all the time, or Googling something, try to find something, searching for something on the internet, you can turn your phone to grayscale. Now, what grayscale does, it makes your phone super duper boring. It's like just the worst thing that makes it, just because everything is in black and white. And I try to show it on camera, but it just doesn't come through on the camera the way it's supposed, the way that you'll see it on your phone when you actually do it. And because it's kind of a filter on your phone to make sure that everything is gray. And so it's just boring, right? You're looking at your phone and you're like, this is just boring. Like, pick up your phone and you're like, oh, man, I don't want to look at this because it's just all gray. And so because of that, when you have ADHD and you want to see the colors, you want to see all the different things that represent different things. You want to see the shapes and everything of everything. You want to see when you get a notification that's one color, that color, right? Everything on your phone is gray. Now, the way to actually do this, if you have an iPhone, you want to go into your accessibility options, and you're going to go into your filters in your accessibility, and then there's going to be an option for grayscale. And as soon as you click it, you'll see that phone goes gray, no color at all. Now, if you have an Android, then you're going to go into like your nighttime, bedtime functions, and it's in there. You can actually go in there and turn your phone gray when it goes to nighttime. And this is going to help you stay off your phone, because when you do it, you'll realize this is so boring. I don't want to look at it anymore. And so you're not staying hours and hours on end on your phone. You'll just be like, okay, I'm going to stop looking at this because I don't want to look at it anymore. I want to go look at something that has some color, something that's interesting. And this is not interesting anymore to me. So that can be a real good thing to help keep you from being on social media and on your phone a lot of times as well. So another thing about this is when you're able to make sure that you keep your time and make sure that you're aware of time, then that's going to help keep you motivated, because of the fact that, hey, I know what the time is. I know I have to be somewhere at a certain time, and it's getting closer to that time to go. It's getting closer to the deadline of that time to go. And when you have ADHD, that deadline, that looming deadline that is like, I have to do this at a certain time, will make you move at the time. If you realize that you have to do something at a certain time and you realize it's close to that time, you're going to get motivated to do whatever you want to do. And that's because with ADHD, you have what's called a time horizon. Everybody has a time horizon. And what that means is that when you are wanting to do something, you're going through the fact with ADHD, what's important. And what's important with ADHD is the right now. Like, I'm doing this, and the right now is this is important right now. So when you get super close to a deadline with ADHD, you realize this is the most important thing right now, because I can't miss this deadline. I can't miss that thing that I want to do by this time. So as you get closer to that time and realize that, then you're going to get motivated to get moving faster and faster and go through and do whatever you need to do. This happens in college a lot when you have ADHD. You'll get to the point to where you're like doing a paper or whatever, and you just wait until like the day before to finish everything. And you're like, I've written a paper in like one night. So that's kind of how I got through college in that way. But just realize that there is something to help motivate you when you get close to that deadline. And that works whether you're doing something like a work project or school project, or even decluttering and actually organization. Like if you have a party or something, you have to get your house clean and done by that time. You're going to get more motivated as that date moves closer. Now, another thing that you can do that's really cool to like save you time as well is going to be to have a landing pad or a command center. And what this is, it's a place for you to put things to make sure that you remember them. And so the thing about it is, like your cell phone, your wallet, your keys. A lot of times we forget these things, right? You put your cell phone down somewhere, you're on the couch or whatever, you put your cell phone down on the couch and it gets covered by something, whatever it is, it gets covered by something. And so then you're like, okay, where is it? And you just are looking around, scrambling, looking around something, and you realize, oh, it's under this folder I put on the couch, and you've been looking for it like 10 minutes. I've even had the point to where I'm looking for my cell phone, and it's in my hand. So that's happened too. But the point is, you want to have some place in your home to where you can put things down, and make sure you have it in a place to where you can always go back and look for it and know that it's there. One of the ways you can do this is called a landing pad. Now, what that is you're going to put a mouse pad or a basket or something right next to your door in a place that you pass by as you come into your home and leave your home, a very frequent place. And what you do is you put something there that you're going to put your keys, your phone, and your wallet, and anything else that's important in that basket or whatever you have, right? You're going to put it there. That way you always have a designated spot for those things. And as you do it more and more, put the things there more and more, you'll get used to, hey, my phone needs to be here. If it's not here, I need to go find it and look for it. And that way I know that when I get ready to leave or whatever, it's going to be there. I need to make sure that I need to make sure I have my keys, because you can't go anywhere without your keys. So you're going to put these things right there. And then when you get ready to leave, you automatically know, hey, I know where my stuff is, grab it and go. You don't have to spend time trying to look for it. And this is going to help you a lot as you do it, as you just get used to it. And it's great for, especially like in the morning, you're rushing to get somewhere or rushing to get to an appointment. You don't want to have to look for the essential things that you need. You want to have some place that you already know where it is. And it doesn't have to be a super big thing that you put there, just something to hold the items that you want to hold. Now, the other thing is a command center. And this is for like, it can be for one person, but I really like it for like families. And what a command center is, it is a place to where you have your cell phone chargers. It's a place to where you have like sticky notes, a dry erase board. All the things you need for the next day should go at the place where your command center is. This again should be in a place to where you pass by frequently. And the thing about this is you can use it for yourself, but also your family members, and everybody in your family can have their stuff there. And it just makes it so, okay, I need to charge my phone. You go to the command center, you plug your phone in because your phone charger's there, and you automatically know I don't have to go search for my phone charger. Or, hey, my work bag or purse or whatever is at my command center there, so I know that if I need it, I can go right there. I know where it is. It's about having a central place to leave notes, a central place to communicate back and forth with your family, a central place that you know where your phone charger is, and everything you need for the next day is right there, instead of having it somewhere in your home where you have to go and try to look for it. And that can just be like super frustrating if you want to go somewhere, if you're late for an appointment and you can't find the things that you need, or you start going to the appointment and your phone's completely dead because you forgot to charge it. So because you couldn't find your charger or something. Now, when I mentioned the commands, I also mentioned dry erase board and sticky notes. If you want to, and you need to know like when an appointment is, or you need to make sure you remember something, you want to get a dry erase board. And the reason is because not only can you write stuff on it, but you can erase stuff really easily. And you put it somewhere where you can see it. Again, where you walk by it all the time, where you know where it is, you can see it. So that way, if you need to remember something important, you put it on your dry erase board. You just write it down on there. Or you get a dry erase calendar, which is great because now you can actually put all your appointments and stuff on there. And so if you're wondering, okay, what do I need to do this day? And you've written it on your dry erase calendar, you can just look by, have one that hangs on my wall. You just go by, look at it and say, oh, that's what I need to do for the day. This is all the stuff I need to do. And if you have a family, then people can actually leave notes on the dry erase board, dry erase calendar. Hey, Jimmy has a appointment to go to, like a track meet or whatever to go to. You put it all on there, and then okay, I can look here and find whatever I need to do for the day. And that can be a really good thing as well, to make sure that you actually remember things and keep track of things. So I need to take a drink of water real quick. But another thing about it is, all right, another thing that's really good about trying to organize things is a lot of things come to breaking things down, because what happens is you have a big project that you're trying to do, but you want to break things down because that big project that you're looking at, like, I'm going to organize my whole house. I'm going to organize this room. I'm going to organize, all my garage, right? That's a big task, right? And so you get to the point to where you're looking at that is a big task, and you're like, I don't want to get involved in trying to do that because I know it's going to take me multiple days to get this done. It's going to take me this amount of time, that may be like a month, to get everything done through my garage. My dad has a garage, a lot of stuff in that garage. It needs to be decluttered. It would take a month to get it done, to get all that stuff decluttered and out of that garage, because it's just random stuff like multiple toolboxes, all sorts of different screws, multiple he even has like some boards of wood like on the top of the garage that are just random. I have no idea what they're for. So all that kind of stuff that just, you have to either throw away or figure out how to organize, that can take a long amount of time to get rid of and go through and things like that. But if you take it section by section, you're like, okay, today I'm going to organize or declutter this section of this section of the room or whatever. And you pick a section, you work on that section, and you get done with that section. And then you go and you move on to the next section. And so what happens is you are going and completing different sections, and you're still getting to the overall goal of actually finishing everything. But the fact is as you're going through, you're getting some reinforcement of, hey, I completed this goal. I met this goal. I did everything. This starts to look a lot better as you go around and finish different things. And you can notice, hey, I completed this. This section looks like it's really organized and decluttered. As you go through that whole thing, then you'll realize as you get to the end, you're like, wow, I really did a whole lot of stuff and I got the actual thing done that I was intending to do. And that can be awesome, but you need to kind of break it down. And another thing that you can do to break things down that really works in that actual thing is to designate different areas, different items for different things. For example, like in my home, I have a coffee station, and that means anytime I want to get coffee, I have all my stuff there for coffee that I need to do. I don't have to go look for all the stirrers. I don't have to look for all these different things. I know exactly where that stuff is. So if I want to get coffee, I go there and I just start making coffee. Or you have a workout section in your home where you can go, have all your stuff to work out at home, do your burpees, whatever, go there and start working out. So you want to have things like that because then you know exactly where you need to go for certain things. And all your stuff is already there, so you can go ahead and get started. And I'm talking about designating areas for activities, but you can also designate different areas for items. You can have a sock drawer. You have all your socks in that one drawer, or you can take a section of that drawer, make it for all your socks, and then take the other section, make it for all your underwear. And that drawer specifically is for socks and underwear, so you know where all that stuff is. And you actually can go there and know everything in that drawer, in that section, is related to one thing or a couple of things. And that can be really good because now you don't have to go look around and wonder, okay, where is it? What drawer is it in? What place is it in? You automatically know where it is. Now, if you think you won't remember which drawer is which or which section is which, then go ahead and put a label on there. Label it so that you don't have to really remember it. You can just go by and look at the label and be like, okay, I know what's in that drawer or container or whatever. But then you broke stuff down. Now you can break it down by a category of things. You can also, like if you have a closet, well, most people have a closet, but in your closet, you can break it down like different sections of different clothes, like pants or suits or dresses or whatever. But you can also break it down by color. So if you want all your blue stuff on one side, all your red stuff on one side, all your striped stuff in one section, you can break it down in your closet like that so that you know which things go where. And that way, when you walk in, look at your closet, all your stuff is here, all your stuff is there. Really easy to find what you're looking for, especially if you wear, if you have certain things like you have a uniform and that uniform is all one color. So, I put my uniform on this side and I know it's this certain color. So if I actually need to find it, then I can look in that section and find out where it is really easily. So that's one way that you can do that as well. Now, another thing that you can do that kind of help you with, I'm going to go into closet organization. Now, one of the things that you can do to help you with some closet organization, thinking about that is, one, you can get a shoe rack. And if you have a closet and you have lots of shoes just strewn all about the bottom of the closet, then that can be an issue because, one, if you're looking for shoes, you have to go through and try to find them. Two, it just looks like a mess when you walk in and see all your shoes there. And another thing that you can do is they have like hanging shelves that you can get to put into your closet. So if you're like running out of space in your closet, you can get these hanging shelves. You hang it all over the clothes rod and your closet, and that gives you all these different shelves that are hanging that you can put other stuff in and use that to organize your closet in that way as well. Those are a couple different things that you can use to help you organize your closet, to make sure you have extra space, to make sure it's more organized and everything. Now, if you want to, you can also get like a closet organization system, and that's a big item that you go through, and it has all the different drawers and everything, places to organize your closet, and you put it inside your closet, and then it helps you to actually make sure that that's organized. Now, another thing is, if you want to actually make some space in your closet, like you have too much clothes or too many things in there, or you wear these different clothes every day, these same few different items every day, and you don't wear everything in your closet at once, you can actually get a rolling clothes rack, right? And you can actually take the things that you wear the most and put them on that rolling clothes rack. And that way, when you want to figure out what you need to wear for the day, then you just go there, you know it's already there, and hey, I'm gonna go ahead and pick out the outfit that I need to. Now, if you have really no closet space, you don't want to have, a lot of stuff in your closet, then you can, if you have a big enough rolling clothes rack, they can just put most of your clothes on there as well. And the cool thing about that is you can just roll it from room to room, which is nice too. So if you need it in one room, you can do that. But if you decide, hey, I really need it in this other room, you can just roll it there as well too. And that can be really helpful as well. So that's another way to actually go through and organize your closet and figure out how to make your closet more organized and more decluttered as well. And another thing that you can figure out that's going to help you in your home as well is, a lot of times what happens is you buy things because it's on sale. You buy things because you're just like, oh, that looks cool, and it's new and shiny. Okay, I got to buy this stuff. And you buy it and you end up with stuff in your home that, one, you're not going to use, but you can get into the situation where you buy something and you already have one in your home. And you're like, that was a cool item, I really bought it. You get to your home, get to your house or whatever, and you realize, oh, I already have one. So then you end up with a duplicate. And are you going to use that duplicate? Really comes back to, do you need 2 of this? Do you need 3 of this? Or is it something that you're not going to use more than one of? So if you have a lot of duplicates in your home, that's something you can go look at and say, okay, I don't need all these duplicates of this item. I can go ahead and try to get rid of some of these, give them to a friend or whatever it is, sell them on eBay, whatever you want to do with it. But you don't want to keep it in your home, especially if you're not going to use it, because of the fact that you have these things in your home, they take up space. All things in your home take up space, and you're trying to make sure that you have more space so that your home does not look cluttered. And so duplicates that you're not using take up a lot of space, and you want to try to free up that space so they can actually put things in that space that you actually will use. And so you don't want to have all the duplicates around your home as well. You want to be able to make sure that you just have what you're going to use. And that kind of brings me to something else I'm thinking about is, if you have never done minimalism, right, it's really good for ADHD, because what you're going to do is you're going to break it down to just having the essentials. You're going to break it down to saying, okay, I just want to have these different things. I know I only need this many suits. I know I only need this many dresses. I know I only need this amount of plates and forks or whatever it is. And you don't keep the excess, right? You keep just the amount of things that you actually need, because it's going to free up some space in your home, especially if you're like trying to find extra space. So minimalism is good because it actually makes it so that you really think about what items I really need that are essential, and not so much how many extra items that I just have just because I want extra stuff. And that way it makes you think about, when you go through and everything, what do I really need? What's really important for me to actually keep? And what can I really get rid of? And the other thing about this is it really helps you to actually figure out your wardrobe too, because you can minimize your wardrobe as well. If you only wear a certain amount of clothes every week, every day, then you want to think about how many other clothes I want to have and kind of reduce your wardrobe. And you could even get to the point to where you reduce your wardrobe to things that you can kind of just work to fit together that make different outfits, but they're using the same different items. For example, I have some suits. I have a suit jacket, and I have some suit pants, and then I have, different suits in my closet that I use. I can mix and match those suits, and they look really good anyway, just because the jacket fits me, the pants fit me. Yeah, they might be different colors, but you put it together with the right tie and everything, and it looks really stylish, looks really good, instead of having, 6 or 7 or 8 suits that I'm not going to use. I'm not going to wear them all at one time, and I don't go to so many places that I need 7, 8, or 9 suits. I just have the 1 or 2 that I wear all the time. So that's a way to actually minimize your wardrobe as well. So look into minimalism, see what things that you can actually minimize that's going to help you create more space. Now, another thing that you can do to create more space for you is you want to have multifunctional furniture. Have you ever heard of this? Multifunctional furniture is a piece of furniture that actually serves a secondary function or a third function. Like they have coffee tables that have ones that open up, and they might be a coffee table. They might have a space inside to hold things. They might have they might have another space that, brings out another little thing that has a different, an extended table on it, has all these different functions that you can use it for, instead of having 2 different items that take over the same function. Usually multifunction items are a sofa or a bed or an ottoman that has space inside it to store extra things. So that way you can sit on it, use it that way, or put your feet on the ottoman or whatever. And then you can also have those items stored inside there. So now you have extra space in those items, extra space around your home, because you have these things stored in there. Now, out of sight, out of mind is still a real thing with ADHD. So don't store things in there that you need frequently, because one, you're going to have to open up your sofa or your bed or the chair or the ottoman to get these things out. So you want to store things in there that you really, you might need occasionally, or you just want to have them somewhere. You want to keep them because they're like important to you, but you don't want to put them, don't want to just have them all around. Like knickknacks may be something you want to store in here, because you don't want to have so many knickknacks on the different surfaces in your house, but you do want to keep some. So you put some in the multifunctional furniture, and that way you keep them, but they're not cluttering up your surface and everything like that, the different surfaces in your home like that. You just have the ones that you really like to look at, and that can be really helpful. So think about what kind of, if you have multifunctional furniture, you can go to the store and just ask for, hey, what kind of furniture do you have that has extra space inside for storage? And they generally they'll have stuff like that. And you may have to search around for it a little bit, but I know that you can get some like on Amazon, things like that. And that way you have other space that you can use instead of just the actual space you think that you have extra space to store things. Now, something else to think about also is that I was talking about making sure you have knickknacks on the surface of things. So what you want to do is you want to try to clear all those flat surfaces off. Counters, if you have a coffee table, make sure the coffee table stays clear of just, all the stuff, to make sure it's not getting cluttered with magazines and things like that. That's another thing that you can actually make sure that you have all the flat surfaces clear except the essential items that you need. So for example, you have a bathroom counter, you go into the bathroom, you don't want to have hey, there's a toothbrush and deodorant and second deodorant and my shampoo is all on there and stuff. And then outside of that, have shaving stuff, and you have all this stuff like on your bathroom counter, and it looks very cluttered and it looks a mess. And so what you want to do is keep just the essential things on there that you're going to use. And stuff like hair dryers and stuff like that, you might want to just go ahead and put away anyway, but you don't want to have so many things on there that space looks cluttered. So if you make sure that you clear off those kind of spaces, then one, it looks neater, and then you just find other spaces to put these different things so that you are not using that. So you have them in a space that where it is, but it's not being cluttered, not looking cluttered on that counter. And that can be really helpful to make your home just feel like more open, just feel like you have more space, because all those things there, all those things that were on there are now in a different place. And the other thing about this is you need to figure out not only where those things go, but you need to figure out in your home where different things are supposed to be. Go pick out a place in your home. This thing belongs here. This thing belongs there. And every time you go to like figure out where that thing is, you're like, oh yeah, I've got a space for this thing right there. And you figure out where you want everything in your home, where the specific space is going to be for that specific thing. And if you go through and you run out, if you go through and you run out of space, right, then what you're going to do is you're going to look at it and say, okay, I've run out of space. I don't have any more space in my home. I don't have any more space to put things. I want to bring in something else into my home. Is there something here that's clutter that I'm not going to use anymore? That is just like, it doesn't really have a purpose in my home anymore. If that's the case, then you want to look at that thing and be like, well, you know, I don't really need it. Maybe it's time to get rid of it and declutter it and get the thing out of my home. So you want to have the items in your home. You want to have a space for each item in your home. And once you get to that point to where you don't have any more space, then you want to think about, is this item important enough to keep? Now, once you figure all that out, then you know everything in your home is essential. Everything is something you want to keep. And you're thinking about buying something else or bringing something else into your home. This is the 1 in, 1 out rule. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that if you are actually thinking about bringing something into your home, then you want to actually look and see, okay, I have to get rid of something. I can't keep bringing stuff into my home that's extra stuff. I don't have any space for it. It's going to end up being cluttered somewhere. So instead of doing that, every time you buy something, every time somebody gives you something you want to put into your home, you think about it. You think about what you are going to get rid of. What is something that you say, hey, you know, it's just not essential for me to have this. It would be nice, but I really want this new thing in my home. Now, it's easy if you have like a couch or something like an old chair, old couch, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to buy a new one. You take that, you get the new one, and you go and throw away the old one, get rid of it, whatever, donate it. But if it's like, hey, I have this cool item that I really want to bring in, and you don't have anything you really want to throw away, you need to figure out something to get rid of to bring that other item in. This is going to help make you stop and think about when you purchase anything, because, hey, I've got all my stuff in these different places. I need to figure out, is this item that important that I need to get rid of something else? And so this helps to keep your home in the whole decluttered state, decluttered fashion, because of the fact that you're not bringing in all these different items all the time, because you have to think about what you want to do to make sure you get something else out of your home so that you keep the amount of items the same, or reduce the amount of items in your home to bring in additional items in your home. And that is something you have to think about. And that's the 1 in, 1 out rule that's going to really help you make sure your home stays decluttered. Something else that you can do to make sure your home stays decluttered and organized is do a daily declutter, a daily organization session. And what this is, take 5 minutes, 10 minutes per day, go around and just pick up trash and, you know, pick up clutter that you want to declutter, things you like, hey, I really need to declutter this. I'm just going around picking it up. I need to throw it away. Go around and take things that are out of place and put them back in place. Just take 5 or 10 minutes per day to do this. And that way you're not having to do these huge declutter sessions. Like you take a Saturday, you're just like, okay, I'm going to declutter day. And it's like 5 hours and you're still not done decluttering your whole home, where you want to get done, because you have just so much stuff to do. Instead, a little bit each day is going to be a lot easier for you, because that way, you know, hey, I'm only doing this for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. 2, I'm not doing it for that long. After I get done with this 5 or 10 minutes, I'm done for the day. and I'm going to do some more tomorrow. So that way, every day you're doing it, you're doing a good bit at a time, and that's going to keep your home having less clutter, keep your home more organized, because you're putting things back in the proper place every day, every night. Now you can do it in the morning, the noon, afternoon, or in the evening. You choose which time is best for you. Now, if you get into it, you're like, hey, I could really do this in the morning and evening, then do that as well too. It just depends on what you want to do. For me, I'm a night owl. I stay up till all hours in the night. I am really just like, I don't sleep that much at nighttime, and during the day, I sleep more. But the point is that at night, before I get ready to go to bed, I go through and do this, and it just helps me keep my apartment, more clean, more organized and decluttered, because of the fact I go through every night and go through and find, okay, this needs to go here, that needs to go there, and this is trash. I need to go ahead and get rid of that and put this in trash and get that out the door as well. So that's something that will help you maintain a home that is clutter free, which can be a really good thing for ADHD. So another thing that you can do is, another thing that you can do is to organize things by color. And this goes through with clothes. I mentioned that, but you can use this for anything. For example, if you want to use it for actually doing bills, if you want to do it for actually, if you want to do it for actually doing bills, if you want to do it for whatever you want to do it, whatever you want to use it for. Like if you have stuff in your filing cabinet that you want to make sure that you keep in order, you can actually get a folder. You get folders of different colors and put different things in those folders of different categories, and you just label them, take a label and put it on there. But as you get used to the different colors, you'll immediately know what color represent what thing. And for example, you have your bills in red folders. You have your vacation stuff in yellow or orange, because I just think about that because it's kind of like summertime, yellow and orange. You have your stuff for the holidays, or maybe stuff like bonus that you get at work or whatever. You have everything in that, like in a green folder for, this is more like has to do with money or something that I actually want to do. So you have those things in those different folders, and that way you put them in the file cabinet, you get used to the colors of those folders. You immediately know where things go. You immediately know where you should look for things. Hey, I'm looking for this specific thing. You find the folder that's the right color, and you're able to see everything in there that is supposed to be in there. Or you say, hey, I need to file this. You know exactly where to file it, and it makes it a lot easier because now you don't have to go through, like if you have those manila folders in your file cabinet and you're just looking, trying to figure out, okay, is this the right name, the right subject and everything? You don't have to really do that. You are just looking at the color of it, and that's going to help you actually just find things a lot quicker. So that's a really good thing as well too. That is a lot of information that I've gone over. I'm trying to figure out anything else that I need to talk about to help y'all out, but that's a lot of information of different things that I think are really important to help you be able to organize. And this is a lot of stuff that if you're a beginner in organization, you can do a lot of these things actually today. You can actually go through and implement a lot of this stuff as soon as you get off this live stream, as soon as you want to today. You can go through and just implement any of these things because they're going to be simple little hacks. And that's really important, to have simple little things that you can do to help you be able to organize and declutter your apartment or your home. And so you want to find those things that are going to be really easy for you to do, really easy for you to implement, really easy, that is going to actually have a big benefit for you. So those things are really good. Another thing that I just thought about too is having a lazy Susan. If you don't have a lazy Susan, you need to get a lazy Susan. It's just super awesome when you have a lazy Susan, because you can put a lot of stuff on the lazy Susan. And if you want to find something on the lazy Susan, once you put stuff on there, you can just scroll it around, which is really cool. I have one that I have like all my stuff all my spices for my kitchen, right? Everything on there is a different spice, and I can spin it around and see all those different things on that Lazy Susan. And it makes it a lot easier to know, hey, where's my sugar at? Where is my, salt and pepper and other spices I actually need that I actually use every day? You can put on that Lazy Susan, you have access to it, you can see it. It's easy to find everything on there. And you can use one in your kitchen, you can use one in your bathroom, you can use wherever you want, have items that you want to get access to. You can put them on a Lazy Susan, and that will help you actually be able to make sure you can see everything. So this is all the information I have that I want to go over. But if you have any questions, let me know. I can answer those. And hopefully when you watch this, if you're watching it live, that's awesome. But if you watch on the replay too, let me know if you have watched it on the replay as well. So, and if you have anything that you want me to kind of go over or actually do in a different live stream, then let me know that as well too, because then I can actually have a live stream for that and go over any different things that you actually want to, any different things that will really help you. And I'm here to really help you and make sure you get the information so that you can have an organized and decluttered home as much as possible. So let me know those things in the comments. Hey, I really want stuff here on this thing. I do like other videos on like college stuff for kids and, college students, things like that. So if you want something on that, I can actually go through and do something on that as well. But whatever you need me to actually go over, let me know in the comments, and that will help you. That will be able to help me to know what to go over the next time. Thanks for watching.